What's going on, people? It's your man, the YB, back once again. Big shout out to my doggy, Porter, and Arthur DS1 for coming through and boosting up the coins. So, we got some more breaking news for you, man, right now, regarding Zille, Big Bang Zhang, I bang you, Big Bang Zhang, putting it on Daniel Dubois, and also airing out Martin, the sparring stories, Bakole. Anyway, here's the video from Zhang calling out Dubois.
Congrats, Daniel. Good win. I'm happy for you. But if
I don't know. Clearly, there's not one cat in Zhang's camp who can speak a lick of English because he left us on a cliffhanger here. Yeah? All he had to say is, but if me and you, I bang you, Big Bang. Yeah, that's all you had to put on the end. Instead, you left it like you can't speak a lick of English. Essentially, you left us mid-sentence. Yeah, saying the word if isn't how you end a kind of call out. Anyway, we get the point Zhang's making. Zhang saying that Dubois is sweet. Now, I have to tell you this in context with what Zhang said about Martin, the sparring warrior, Bakole, which was the following. Zhang said, Bakole did a lot of talking and called me out for a fight, but now he's silent. I don't know what happened. Suddenly he disappeared from the radar, but every time he issued a challenge, I always responded. In every interview, I told him, yes, let's go, contact my team, let's make it happen. But I don't understand why he's so quiet now. If anyone knows what happened, let me know, said Zhang. Listen, people. The truth is right now, Bakole and Zhang, they both have questions on their careers, bottom line. Zhang can never finish his breakfast. He's always running out of gas. He couldn't deal with Hrgovic. He couldn't deal with Parker. More so the Parker fight is what troubles me with Zhang. This was only how long ago? 6 months ago, however many months ago. There's no excuse to go life and death with Parker, man. So from my perspective, Zhang can forget about Dubois. He hasn't done enough. He needs to go and smoke Parker at the very least. That said, even from Bakole's perspective, okay, he's beat up Jared Anderson. Good. That's his claim to fame. Equally though, Bakole had close fights on the scorecards at least. With Tony Yoka, he's no good. Tony Yoka's no good. He's like again, I said this the other day. Olympic boxers can't really box in the pro ranks. You got Tony Yoka, gold medalist. It means nothing. AJ, gold medalist, means nothing. Audley Harrison, gold medal, means nothing. It doesn't carry weight. Yeah, the fact you can slap about and have big gloves on and big head guard on, it doesn't make a lick of difference when you get into the fade. When you end up in the thick of it with the squabbles. So, Bakole, for me, like Zhang, for different reasons, they have questions about their careers, and hence, them two need to fight. Zhang and Bakole need to fight. Danny D, he's done that already. They're good fights though, of course, but it's not Danny D's job here to take everyone out. He's already put you man on. He's already popped Jerome Miller's cherry. He's already popped Hrgovic's cherry. He's already popped Johnson's cherry. What's Zhang been doing? Going life and death. He didn't pop Wilder's cherry like that. Yeah, Wilder was half cooked anyway at that point, right? For sure. Joe Parker had to go on Wilder. Yeah, Joe Parker had to go on Wilder. Not knockdowns, but the same principle. Danny D, he finished that Hrgovic job that Zhang was supposed to handle. So Danny D, he's transcended now the Hunger Games. But Bakole and Zhang, they're still in the thick of the Hunger Games. They need to take each other out, is my base case here. Because Danny D is young as well. I think Bakole's allegedly 31, but he's more like 38/41, if we're honest. So they're both old heads. Bakole's probably mid-low 40s. Zhang's definitely low 40s. Get them in there. and then Danny D can take out the winner. I'm not saying it'll be an easy fight. I think those are the hardest. I think Zhang's an easy. Well, Bakole does have cardio as well. I think Bakole's a tougher fight than Zhang. We know Zhang has definite flaws. He runs out of gas, and his output, even against Wilder was not punching. Zhang was able to go at whatever pace he wanted to. And he was gassed after 3 or 4 rounds, absolutely blowing, and Zhang didn't do nothing. So there's an obvious way to beat Zhang. You go in there, you feint, you posture for 6 rounds. And that's how I know I'm not a fangirl. Yeah, that's how I know I'm not delusional. I don't always advise storming forward. With Zhang, there's no benefit of storming forward in the early rounds. Get in there, get comfortable. For someone like Dubois, get your jab going, get the feints going, get Zhang tired, and down the back straight, then you start putting it on him and laying it on thick. And to be fair to Zhang, we've seen how laying it on thick with Zhang goes in the early rounds. That's what we know for sure. Joe Joyce, he tried to lay it on thick and got smoked to bits. Zhang's weight, for Zhang, I've never seen a heavyweight 290 pounds and that quick. His right hand's like a jab, it's crazy. So I'd never advise someone to start trying to tangle with Zhang in the early rounds. He's quick, he's heavy-handed, and he can box, and he can defend. So yeah, Zhang's a tough fight. Same with Bakole though. Bakole, I think, actually has better conditioning. He went 12 rounds or 11, 12 rounds of Hunter, and that was at a fast pace. Bakole has since put weight on though, which ain't going to help his conditioning. Bakole and Zhang. Still, the baseline for me is though, I'd rather see, Zhang needs to go and hand, no people, no one asked Zile, Big Bang, I bang you, Zhang, to go life and death with Parker. He needs to go handle that now. He could have blown Parker's back out and then be moving on into the real conversation. But he still has a loss against Parker he needs to handle. So forget about Zhang now. He needs to run it back with Parker. That's all he should be talking about. And he has a rematch clause with Parker. So I'm not sure why he hasn't activated it. What's he waiting for? I think he's probably waiting for like a put me on. But from my perspective, forget about Zhang. He needs to go handle that work. He should have been handled that. Bakole, I don't want to see him in there with, ideally, if my name was Prince Mohammed Ahmad Turkey, I'd have Zhang fight Parker, Dubois rematch AJ just for the shits and gigs. Yeah? Just for the pure brutality. Yeah? And the fact AJ's ego is so big and all the bum lickers around him are so delusional. Massa Hearns is delusional. Yeah, we're gonna knock him out in the... Eddie, you're bugging, man. Eddie has been fully groomed by Ben Davison. Because all them videos that we was laughing at when Ben Davison was saying, oh yeah, AJ, I'll fix that Usyk fight for you. Eddie, who's really used car salesman. Eddie Hearn is a used car salesman. That said, so is Ben Davison. So you'd like to think that a used car salesman would know their own tactics, but they don't. Yeah? Jack the Lad, he has sold everything. So even though you'd think Eddie Hearn would be street smart in that sense, because he is a used car salesman, he's not. Yeah? Eddie Hearn's been groomed by Ben Davison. Eddie Hearn sits there all night watching interviews of Ben Davison saying, yeah, I'll fix that for you, Eddie. I'll fix that Usyk fight for you. Not looking at none of the evidence, not looking at any of the reality, just the fact that Ben Davison said in an interview confidently, I'll fix that for you. Lo and behold, never mind Eddie, Massa Hearns. Ben has taken AJ 4 steps backwards, the worst he's ever looked. And you're talking about, we'll fix that for you. You bugging, Ben Davison. What have you fixed? What's that? You spending 6 months working on AJ's moody party trick is what you call fixing it for Usyk. If you can't land that party trick against Dubois, you is never gonna land it with Usyk ever. With him slapping you in the mouth with his shots. It was never going to happen. And I said that. Just because you caught him bongo, yeah, just because you caught Francis on bongo with that party trick, you ain't going to catch no other boxer. Because he's a wrestler. That's what I told you. And lo and behold, he didn't catch no one with nothing. The one shot that allegedly rocked Dubois, next thing you know, AJ spark out. So Dubois wasn't that rocked. He was playing possum. Oops. Anyway, the point is, Zhang Parker, Dubois John Stewart, and then Bakole, get Bakole in there with Dillian White, man. Feed Dillian White to Bakole. That's what Turkey should be doing, right? Well, to me, listen, I think Bakole's earned, after going in there as a big underdog against that hype job, that soft hype job, Jared Anderson, the crybaby, big crybaby. He's earned now a little bit of clout. Because all he's had really are hard industry fights, like Michael Hunter or Tony Oka or Jared Anderson. There's been no gimme fights, gimme high level fights like Dillian White. He hasn't had none of them once, so he should really get the opportunity. And who knows? Maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe Dillian White will catch Bakole, and if so, great for him. But that's what we need to see now. Yeah, there's no point always gunning for the finals. Boxing is best, or the best of boxing in my mind is like when it's a Super 6 tournament. Yeah, I don't want to see the final every other month or every 6 months. I don't mind waiting for a year if we're building to something. So let's get all these middle fights out of the way. So AJ Dubois, Zhang Parker, Bakole Dillian White, and then the winners, we then go into the next round in 6 months, and that way we get to build some anticipation. We could just say, right, Turkey could just say now, okay, Bakole Dubois, but it's like we lose the. I want to see real challengers and champions built, not just putting in people straight in there, because then eventually everyone ends up losing real quick, and you can argue, well, that's what the sport's about, but there's no rush, man. There's no rush. As long as these guys are in the mix, I tell you what, I don't want to see. I don't want to, and to be fair to Turkey, I don't think he'll do that, but I don't want to see Bakole versus random ass dudes or Zhang versus randoms. No more randoms. It's got to be top 8 only. Fury, Usyk, Parker, Zhang, Bakole, Hrgovic, Dubois, Ajit Kabayel, Parker. Those are the kind of names we're talking here. However you can put them names together is what it needs to be. No one else comes in though. Forget about F.A. Jagba. What's he done? I keep hearing about him. It's irritating. I'll tell you what. Feed Bakole wants to fight in Africa. Maybe you bring F.A. Jagba over, because obviously Bakole wanted to fight AJ in Africa, but that's never going to happen. That's never going to happen. But this FA cat, that'll do. He's lost already to come on. He's no good. He's chinny as well. Forget about this corny ass dude, F.A. Jagba. What's he done? Just all bums on here. There's not one name on here. Tell a lie. The one name that's on here, he lost and got popped in his mouth by Frank Soft to the Body Sanchez. Another hype job. So forget about a Jagba. How is a Jagba on the top 10? Pound for pound. Top 10 Ring Magazine. How is he there? What's he done? I haven't heard of even one of these dudes. These guys aren't even like Chisora level. They're just complete bums. And he's going life and death. Look, F.A. Jagba went life and death with Guido Vanello. Yeah? I never heard of him. Never heard of him a day in my life. He went life and death with Stephen Shaw. The judges had it 96-94. All 3 judges had it 96-94. That's what you call a life and death fight. A Jagba beat this bum by 1 round. Same with this one here. A Jagba beat this bum by 1 round. / one judge had him losing. Forget about a Jagba. Forget about him. He's no good. I guess the flip side is he has beaten undefeated fighters. But who are they though? We don't know. We don't have a clue who these dudes are. Just randoms. Here we go. Here's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. So F.A. Ajagba goes life and death with this dude. And Joseph Goodall knocks him out. Yeah? Ajagba's no good. And then I think Ajagba fights Goodall. And then Ajagba knocks him out. Okay, well, either way, Ajagba's no good. How about that? I'll tell you for free, Ajagba's no good. Forget about Ajagba. He's no good. He got punched up by Frank Sanchez. Frank Sanchez is no good. Just a hype job. He's soft. Frank Sanchez is soft to the body. What more do you man need to understand? Yeah? Frank Alexander Sanchez. Soft to the body. No good. So get him out of here. But Hrgović, end of the day, Hrgović has shown something. Hrgović was beating the brakes off Danny D. Maximus Danelius Dubois. He can box. And yeah, he didn't protest being stopped, but he didn't roll over and start crying and begging for the fight to stop. He was half finding a way through in that fight. So for me, Hrgović is still in that mix. I wouldn't mind seeing Hrgović versus... I guess you've got Miller as well, actually. Forget about Andy Ruiz. Miller, that's another guy you can throw into that mix. I'll tell you what will be good now. Hrgović versus Miller. Yeah? Jarrell got stopped by Dubois. So it's like the battle of Danny Dubois' leftovers. That's what it will be. Let's see who's the bum of Dubois' leftovers. The biggest bum. Yeah. Oh man. Hrgović, Jarrell Miller. Let's get this little tournament going on where you got these 8 or 10 heavyweights and then you just fight them off. Losers fight losers and winners fight winners, and you make a big ecosystem then, because there'll always be winners somewhere. Right? So if Hrgović beats Jarrell Miller, he's now a winner. He can now step up and fight another one of the winners. If Jarrell Miller lost, he's a loser, but he may then go and fight someone else, one of the other losers, and beat them, and he's back one again, and it creates an ecosystem of people, unless you end up like Wilder. The only way you fall out of that 10-man or 8-man ecosystem is if you just keep getting punched up. It's like 3 losses on the trot and you're out kind of thing. That's what it should be. Yeah, 3 losses on the trot, or any sign that you don't want to fight and you're just there to dig pocket like Wilder is. Wilder's just there to dig pocket. He ain't there to fight. You know what? I'd throw Wilder in there as well, for argument's sake. I wouldn't mind seeing Dillian White versus Wilder, or Bakole versus Wilder, or Triple D versus Wilder. Probably not, because Triple D's too elite now. AJ versus Wilder. I wouldn't mind watching that. But I think Turkey's smart enough now. He's not going to pay 2 washed up bulls the amount of money, because Wilder's delusional. And Shekel is also delusional and greedy. So Team Wilder in particular, but even Team AJ. Team Wilder and Team AJ. I don't think Turkey could make that fight happen. Why? They both still think they're deserving 100 million each for that fight. That's what they think in their head. In reality, that fight now, legitimately, based on Saudi inflation, Wilder versus AJ is kind of like a 10 mil a piece type fight. You get 10 mil, you get 10 mil, and not a penny more. And that's really, when you think about 10 million bucks, people, for 45 minutes work, that is overpriced. Yeah? Wilder versus AJ is essentially a York Hall type gig. Yeah? The International Bum of Britain award. Because Wilder's kind of a bum of Britain. He's not from Britain, but when you think about the three-headed monster, Fury, AJ and Wilder, he almost became a resident of the United Kingdom. So it's the International Bum of Britain belt. That's what they'll be fighting for at York Hall. Realistically, it wouldn't deserve the O2, and it wouldn't sell the O2 out. If it wasn't for the homosexuals in the UK public, no one would buy that. For what? Who wants to see a big shot finished sea-level basketball player just galloping around and scared to throw his hands? Equally, who wants to watch a big... AJ's got a nice defined body, but in terms of bodybuilding, he wouldn't get a pro card. He's not big enough and or lean enough. So he's a C-rate bodybuilder. Yeah? You got the C-rate basketball player from Alabama and a British C-level bodybuilder. That's how the fight would be billed at the York Hall. And I'd do a nice little promo. You know Turkey likes to do them promos. I'd have AJ lifting some weights, and I'd have Wilder with a basketball in his hand. That's how you can sell it for cross, what do they call it? In marketing, they call it cross. Yeah, where you're tapping into all the different markets. Get all the basketball heads on it, all the NBA heads on it, all the 2K heads on it, and get all the bodybuilding Ronnie Coleman, Jay Cutler heads all in there. Yeah, C-Bum. Get all them heads all mixed in. Plus you got the boxing ones as well. So that'd do well at the York Hall, for sure. I'd like that at the York Hall. It'd fit nicely. Maybe even a Christmas show. Christmas 24, kind of party event at York Hall. Bosh. Love it. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, people. I think I'd have to back Dubois beating Zhang. As long as he kept it, as long as Dubois don't get lost in the sauce and think he can just knock everyone out now in 4 rounds. He'd need some tactics with Zhang. Zhang's not Johnston. And I had Johnston's number, but Zhang, you have to find people's holes. I know AJ can't box. I know AJ can't take a shot. I know AJ doesn't want to fight. So with a big dude who don't want to fight, you go straight at them. But Zhang, Joe Joy showed that he can fight. But Zhang has a gaping hole himself. His cardio. So you have to play different. A true master of war, you find your ops weaknesses. It's not a hammer and a nail type situation. Yeah? You don't hammer everything. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, people. Smash the like button, subscribe, like off the bell, 100%. No doubt about this one, people. Stop it.